Hey there, it's your old pal DB. And tomorrow morning I'm getting carpal tunnel surgery. They're gonna go into my wrist and they're gonna snip my carpal tunnel. And that means for the next month or so I won't be able to play music. So this is just a last ditch music playing moment. If Jesus were here, he'd wanna be your buddy. He'd lend you his ears and take you fishing every Sunday. If Jesus were here, he'd invite the neighbors over, buy everyone a beer, and open up the border. If Jesus were here, he'd make illness disappear, not with miracles and prayer, with universal health care. But Jesus isn't here, not in your church, nor in your house. He ain't hiding in the clouds, nor in your bank account. Times they have changed, but they haven't changed the crowds. Jesus got in the way, so the Christians kicked him out. If Jesus were here, I think he'd try to be more clear how his divine love is non-exclusive. If Jesus were here, he would not raise a fuss, be you straight or queer, LGBTQ or plus. But Jesus isn't here, not in your church, nor in your house. He ain't hiding in the clouds, nor in your bank accounts. Times they have changed, but they haven't changed the crowds. Jesus got in the way, so the Christians kicked him out. If Jesus were here, his holy name would get smeared. He'd be called a criminal, a snowflake and a liberal. If Jesus were here, all the Christians would be pissed. They grab up their swords and spears, put him back on that crucifix. But Jesus isn't here, not in your church, nor in your house. He ain't hiding in the clouds, nor in your bank accounts. Times they have changed, but they haven't changed the crowds. Jesus got in the way, so the Christians kicked him out. Got in the way, got in the way, got in the way, so the Christians kicked him out. Amen. That song's called If Jesus Were Here. And there's a song I wrote maybe a year and a half or so ago, maybe 2 years ago. And I was just going to forget about it. But then my good friend Hollis Wayne heard it, and she thought it was a pretty good song. And she rearranged the words a little bit. And so then I brought it back. She ended up recording it with her band a couple of different times too, with Hollis Wayne and the Happy Horse Band. So there's about 3 different versions of this song out there at the moment. Maybe more will come. Who knows? This next song requires my kazoo, my kazooby kazoo. Only a kazooby will do. This song is called Lobotomy Song. It takes a lot of money to get a lobotomy. There's something that my health insurance will not be covering. My health insurance doesn't cover anything. You think they could at least cover my drinks, so I stare at screens and try not to think. It's like a lobotomy, but not quite the same thing. It works in degrees, day by day. It works slowly, but all the money I'll save, I cannot stop these intrusive thoughts. I've got a lot not to think about. Now I can see everyone is so dumb. I wanna go back to sleep and never wake up. Getting born was not my choice. I may have had something to say about I had a voice. I don't wear clothes, just bandages. I still bleed through the holes, but I manage it. I feel like the ghost of a mannequin. This must be what living is. I cannot stop these intrusive thoughts. I've got a lot not to think about. Now get ready for the saddest kazoo solo you've ever heard. See? I cannot stop these intrusive thoughts. I've got a lot not to think about. Something is out of tune. Ain't that the way it goes, though? Well, this next song is called Algorithm. A friend of mine helped me write it. Mr. Brendan Shea, whose shirt I am wearing. It's his shirt, but I am not giving it back. So here we go, Algorithm. You can't believe the things you see, or damn near anything. The future is a fever dream, devoid of fact and meaning. But I still know one thing that's true, I've known it from the start. I believe in the algorithm of your heart. Every morning, new atrocities to read. No one does a single thing or knows what to believe. When everything's fake news and the whole world falls apart, I'll believe in the algorithm of your heart. They could put you into observation under microscopes. No technical equations could ever crack the code. No formula could form the love or electrical currents in your blood. Don't take your kind intents and smash them just 'cause cruelty is in fashion. Don't you dare give up on me. I need you to keep fighting. I know that you've been feeling blue. Things never seem so dark. I believe in the algorithm of your heart. I believe in the algorithm of your heart. All right, that's Algorithm. This next song was inspired by some bathroom graffiti in Terlingua, Texas. I read it on the wall while I was seeing a man about a horse. But it said, "You never even called to tell me you don't love me anymore," which I thought was interesting to find on a bathroom wall. But I also thought it would make a really good Hank Williams song. So I wrote it with Hank Williams in mind, and if he ever comes back, maybe he'll record it. This song is called Since You Moved Away. You used to call me daily, but you haven't called much lately. You used to call me honey, but now you don't call me nothing. You would talk to me with passion. I don't know what happened. You never called to say you don't love me anymore. It was easier when we lived in the same place. You wouldn't have to call, we saw each other every day. But everything is different since you moved away. The only thing that ever lasts is change. You would call and tell me stories. You would talk like you adored me. You would call and tell me jokes. That might be what I miss the most. You would call me up singing, but my phone has stopped ringing. You never called to say you don't love me anymore. It was easier when we lived in the same place. You wouldn't have to call, we saw each other every day. But everything is different since you moved away. The only thing that ever lasts is change. The only thing that ever lasts is change. So thank you to the Vandal Interlingua for helping me write that song. All right. This next song is about energy. Gravity in particular. This song is called Gravity Holds Us. Something don't sound right. But the snark tuner ain't telling me. Aha. Found it. You can't fool me, meal ticket. I didn't like how the first one turned out, so I'm giving it a mulligan. An audible. A sports metaphor. This song's called Gravity Holds Us. And gravity is very important for sports. That's not the title. The title is just Gravity Holds Us. Gravity Holds Us. Gravity Holds Us. That's the title. All right. Potential, kinetic, how did life get so hectic? Did Newton know where the whole world was headed? From Big Bang to Big Bang, is it all just the same? Would you start it again if you knew how it ends? We're victims of physics, we all have our limits. Gravity holds us from start to finish. Like a piano falling out of a window, like trying to ride down a mudslide. Our love set in motion, elemental explosions. We were both lucky to come out alive. We're victims of physics, we all have our limits. Gravity holds us from start to finish. Potential, kinetic, how did life get so hectic? Did Newton know where the whole world was headed? From Big Bang to Big Bang, is it all just the same? Would you start it again if you knew how it ends? We're victims of physics, we all have our limits. Gravity holds us from start to finish. Victims of physics, we all have our limits. Gravity holds us from start to finish. the recorded version, Patrick Smith plays lead guitar. It's pretty cool. And speaking of Big Bend, no wall, right? All right. This next song is a new song too. It's a protest song. My good friend Rick Wood produced and played guitar on the recording. It turned out really good. It turned out much more sophisticated than most any other DB Rouse recording. So check that out. This is called Small Acts of Sabotage. Like I said, it's a protest song, but I'd like to be very clear at this point. By small acts of sabotage, I mean non-violent resistance to the Epstein regime. All right. This is kind of a love song to Lady Liberty. She's my girlfriend. You know I saw you at the protest. We were laughing as they cuffed us with boots on our necks. They disappeared our neighbors and some of our friends. Maybe we will be next. Be nice to see them again. There's gunshots in the distance. It's the rich hunting peasants. It's the blood sport of corrupt politicians. They say it's private prosperity, no trespassing, but we're standing our ground and documenting everything. Small acts of sabotage are like flowers to her. So I'm picking a bouquet with my words and my work. You know I saw you at the protest. We were laughing as they cuffed us with boots on our necks. They disappeared our neighbors and some of our friends. Maybe we will be next. Be nice to see them again. Small acts of sabotage are like flowers to her. So I'm picking a bouquet with my words and my work. It's new. Now, for my next tricks, I need a different instrument. Some of you may know I play a little banjo. I'm probably I'm no Bella Fleck. I'm no Yo-Yo Ma. All right, here's my tiny banjo. Notice, I don't know, I learn more each day. All right, here's another little banjo song. Well, I'm watching the clock until this all is stopped, and I will return you twice the minutes by the time this all is finished. But I need to leave. I need to leave. So take this cold hand and take this small offering. It's not much, but it's the most that I have. And here's a toast to tonight and to the rest of our lives. End of winter, I will come back again. So grab a pen and pour a drink. Let these pages fill with ink. Everything you wanna say in your neatest handwriting, with letters sent and letters read. If that is what it takes, promise you'll wait, promise you'll wait. I'm coming back again. grab a pen and pour a drink. Let these pages fill with ink. Everything you wanna say in your neatest handwriting, with letters sent and letters read. If that is what it takes, promise you'll wait, I'm coming back again. That's an old one, really old one. I think I wrote that in college, and I think the recorded version, my voice has changed since then. I don't know if I went through like a middle-aged puberty or what, but my voice is too low to hit those notes now. I got one more song for you. This one was inspired by a conversation with the one and only J. Michael Combs, who's been kind of an inspiration and a mentor to me. He's a busker, travels all over the place, kind of a singing hobo type, you know. I had a little help writing this one with my good friends Brendan Shea and Mark Monroe. It's called Choreography of a Wanderer. It's a clunky title. We're just going to go with it. It doesn't show up in the song, so... Meanders and rambles, his routes tend to wobble. The dance of a hobo is hard to follow. He swings through the borders, square dance the four corners, waltz across Texas, restless and reckless. He did a jig on an oil rig, then he moonwalked through Florida, wormed into Georgia. Meanders and rambles, his routes tend to wobble. The dance of a hobo is hard to follow. He Tennessee waltzed and cakewalked through the South. In Idaho did the mashed potato. He reeled through Virginia, broke down in Appalachia, polka through the Midwest during Oktoberfest. Meanders and rambles, his routes tend to wobble. The dance of a hobo is hard to follow. He hustled through New York, canned in Kansas, twisted through Davenport. He jumped and never landed. He rolled into salsa in Mexico. Yeah, he's danced all the places his feet could go. He'll probably die doing the hokey pokey, but don't you dare cry, for the dance will keep going. Meanders and rambles, his routes tend to wobble. The dance of a hobo is hard to follow. Well, let's hope the surgery goes well, and then maybe there could be more of this, but better. Goodbye, Carpel. I finally found that my future lies beyond the carpal tunnel.